The greatest illusion of the poor is not the lack of money. It is the belief that poverty is forced on them from the outside. They talk about missed chances, unfair systems, bad timing, the wrong country, the wrong boss, the wrong family. These reasons feel comforting because they remove blame. If poverty is external, then failure is not personal. Responsibility fades, so does power. This illusion is not random. It is a mental defense because the truth is far more painful. Poverty does not come from a lack of opportunity. It comes from repeated self-sabotage. Most people are not beaten by the world. They are beaten by pressure. Not extreme pressure, not disaster, but steady, dull, everyday pressure. The kind that does not break bones, only posture. The world does not crush them. It tests them, and they fail that test again and again. Pressure is not punishment. It is a sorting tool. Markets, careers, businesses, relationships, every field that creates power applies resistance by default. This resistance is not meant to stop you. It exists to reveal who cannot continue. Those who see pressure as injustice never move forward. Those who see pressure as a filter adjust. This is where the poor misunderstand reality. They believe hardship is a sign that something is wrong, that they chose badly, that the system is broken, that someone else has an easier road. So they keep searching for relief instead of capacity. But wealth is not built by those who chase relief. It is built by those who increase tolerance. The modern world quietly trains weakness. Comfort is normal. Discomfort is treated like a disease. Boredom is called a crisis. Criticism is labeled harm. As a result, most people build nervous systems that cannot handle long strain. They want progress without friction, growth without cost, reward without waiting. Such people cannot become wealthy, not because they lack brains, but because they lack durability. Durability is the ability to stay effective while uncomfortable, while uncertain, while unnoticed, while unrewarded. This is the rarest trait today. The poor man avoids pain by instinct. He designs his life to reduce tension. He escapes places that demand too much. He leaves paths that stop feeling supportive. Over time, his world shrinks to match his tolerance. The powerful man does the opposite. He assumes pressure will always exist. He stops asking why things are hard and starts asking how to function while they are. He builds routines that do not rely on motivation. He builds identity around endurance, not emotion. This difference grows quietly. One man looks for places that feel good. The other builds himself to survive places that do not. This is why most people stay exactly where they are, not because they lack ambition, but because their daily actions betray it. Their behavior contradicts their wishes. Their comfort is chosen over their future. Here is the hard truth few want to face. If you were truly ready for wealth, your life would already look different. Not perfect, not easy, but clearly different. Your habits would show long-term thinking. Your tolerance for discomfort would be higher. Your excuses would sound embarrassing to you. Wealth is not drawn to wishes. It is drawn to structure. Those who deserve more behave differently, long before they receive it. They are harder to shake, slower to react with emotion, less dependent on praise, more able to stay calm while others panic. The poor misunderstand this and call it luck or privilege or pride. It is none of these. It is conditioning. Until this illusion is broken, nothing else matters. Strategies fail, skills are dropped, opportunities are wasted, because every plan eventually meets pressure, and pressure reveals who you really are. The world does not withhold wealth out of cruelty. It withholds it out of indifference. It simply rewards those who can endure what others cannot. Once this is understood, excuses lose their charm. Complaints feel childish, and the hunt for shortcuts ends because you realize the problem was never opportunity. It was who you became under pressure, and until that changes, no amount of opportunity will save you. Quitting is the chronic disease of the weak. Quitting is not a choice. It is a reflex, and reflexes show conditioning. The weak do not quit because something is impossible. They quit because discomfort passes their limit. The moment effort stops feeling rewarding, the moment progress slows, the moment certainty fades, they pull back. This retreat is rarely loud. It is quiet, justified and repeatable. Quitting is not smart adjustment. It is the inability to stay present in pain. Every time you leave something because it gets hard, you strengthen a harmful pattern. Pressure equals exit. Over time, this pattern becomes identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who finishes. You become someone who only tries. Trying is safe, trying protects the ego, finishers are exposed, finishers must face results. This is why most people live in endless preparation and never in action. The modern world praises flexibility, but mixes it with inconsistency. Moving from one chance to another is called exploration. In truth, it is avoidance. It is the fastest way to make sure you never master anything. Depth needs time, leverage needs depth, wealth needs leverage. Those who jump forever stay shallow. They collect experiences, not power. They gather starts, not outcomes. They never stay long enough for skill to grow. The winning person does not look for easy paths. R stands a rule the weak refuse to accept. Every path becomes hard once the illusion fades. The difficulty you face is not special to your choice. It is universal. This is why quitting predicts poverty so well. Not because quitting wastes time, but because it blocks growth. Every system rewards those who stay through the dull middle. This is where knowledge turns into instinct, where effort turns into efficiency, where chaos turns into order. Quitting resets you to zero each time, and the cost is hidden at first. You think you are smart by cutting losses early, but in truth you leave just before returns begin. Most rewards are delayed on purpose. Delay is the gate that keeps the uncommitted out. Discipline does not make you happy. It was never meant to. Discipline exists to give you control, and control is the base of power. The weak seek happiness first. They build their lives around feeling good, but feelings are unstable. When feelings guide action, consistency falls apart. The disciplined man accepts short-term discomfort for long-term command over himself. This is the deal. Quitting feels good in the moment. Tension fades, responsibility lifts, comfort returns. But comfort is costly. Every retreat trains the mind to fear strain. Over time, even small challenges feel heavy. Life becomes fragile. The strong feel discomfort and stay anyway, not because they enjoy pain, but because they understand the price of escape. They stay when progress is slow. They stay when feedback is harsh. They stay when results are unclear. This power to stay when others leave is the real advantage. Quitting also damages confidence. Every dropped attempt becomes proof against you. You start to expect failure. You lower your standards before trying. You aim below your ability because your past taught you that you will not last. This is how poverty feeds itself. The disciplined person does not depend on motivation. Motivation rises and falls. He depends on structure. Routines replace feelings. Systems replace willpower. The question is no longer do I feel like it, but is this who I am? When quitting is removed as an option, behavior shifts, creativity grows, problem-solving sharpens. You stop asking if something will work and start asking how to make it work. This is where power begins. The chronic quitter believes he is unlucky. The disciplined man knows better. He understands that staying long after excitement fades is what separates those who build from those who restart forever. Quitting does not protect you from failure. It protects failure from ever being challenged. And as long as quitting stays your reflex, wealth will stay out of reach. The valley of defeat is where the ordinary turn back. Every road to power passes through the same ground. The view changes, the words differ, the setting shifts, but the structure is the same. Those who reach the top recognize it. Those who fail never know where they truly stopped. The journey always starts with blind hope. In this stage, ignorance guards confidence. The future feels kind. Progress seems certain. Effort feels light because expectations are false. This stage is needed. It gets you moving, but it also lies. Soon, hope collapses. Reality brings friction. Results slow and complexity appears. What once felt easy shows hidden layers. This is the second stage, informed doubt. And this is where most people turn back. They mistake this moment for failure. They say the timing is wrong, the market is full, the competition is unfair, the chance was overrated. These reasons sound smart, but they are emotional exits wearing logic. And if you look closely, you will see the same pattern repeat in every part of life, in work, in relationships, in health, in growth. People leave not because the road is impossible, but because the road demands more than they prepared to give. They confuse resistance with rejection and difficulty with destiny. But the truth is simple. Resistance is the price of entry. Difficulty is the proof that you are on a real path. Nothing valuable comes without friction, and nothing powerful grows in comfort. The moment you accept this, your mindset changes. You stop begging for easier days and start building stronger habits. You stop blaming the world and start training yourself. You stop waiting for perfect timing and begin working with the time you have. This shift is quiet, but it is life-changing. It turns pressure into fuel, struggle into structure, and pain into progress. And when this happens, wealth is no longer a dream you hope for. It becomes a result you build for day by day under pressure, without excuses and without quitting. Difficulty is not proof that something is wrong. It is proof that you have touched reality. This middle stage is what separates beginners from serious operators. It is often called the Valley of Death, not because it destroys everyone, but because it destroys illusions. Fantasy cannot survive here. Only structure survives. Many ordinary people struggle in this phase because of wrong alignment. They believe that if something were truly right, it would feel easy. This belief is deadly. Nothing valuable feels easy once understanding replaces ignorance. The truth is sharp and often uncomfortable. The path is not broken. You are simply no longer protected by innocence. Those who survive this stage do not survive through excitement. They survive through discipline. They stop chasing praise from early results and begin focusing on daily execution. They trade feelings for systems. They trade emotion for process. Over time, something changes. A new phase appears. Practical mastery, confusion fades, patterns become clear, effort becomes smarter, progress returns, not because the road became soft, but because the person became stronger. This phase is unreachable for quitters. It lives beyond the point where most people turn back. Mastery is guarded by boredom, frustration, and slow reward. Only those who accept these costs are allowed inside. The Valley of Death is not a test of intelligence. It is a test of endurance. Weak people run here because they want reassurance before they commit further. They want proof before they pay the price. Strong people understand that proof comes after persistence, not before it. This is why opportunity jumpers never win. They keep restarting the cycle, chasing the excitement of new beginnings while avoiding the responsibility of finishing. They love starts because starts do not require skill. Endings do. The world does not reward starters, it rewards finishers. Those who turn back at the valley comfort themselves with stories. They say they are being realistic. They say they are cutting losses. In reality, they are protecting comfort, and comfort has never built anything meaningful. Power is gathered by those who move forward without guarantees, by those who know that clarity is earned through repetition, not given through inspiration. Once you understand this structure, quitting no longer makes sense. You stop asking, is this worth it, and start asking, am I willing to pay the price long enough to reach mastery? Most people are not, and that is why most people stay ordinary. The Valley of Death is not cruel, it is exact. It does not choose sides. It applies the same pressure to everyone. The difference is never the road. It is always the person walking it. Those who endure come out changed. Those who retreat go back the same, convinced the problem was outside. It was not. It was the moment they confused difficulty with direction and turned around. The man who asks for permission will never rule. Power does not live beside hesitation. The moment a man asks for approval, he reveals something dangerous. He does not trust himself to decide. And if he does not trust himself, no structure of power will ever trust him either. Seeking advice often looks like wisdom. Most of the time it is fear dressed as responsibility. When you ask others what to do with your life, your money, your future, you are not collecting wisdom. You are giving away authority. And once authority is given away, it rarely comes back. The man who waits for approval is forced to live inside the limits of the people he asks. He inherits their fears, their doubts, and their ceilings. Even good advice is filtered through the advisor's own failures, regrets, and untested beliefs. Agreement does not create clarity, it creates delay. The more opinions you gather, the weaker your decisions become. Different views cancel each other, leaving you frozen. Soon doing nothing feels safer than choosing wrong. This is how ambition dies, not through loss, but through waiting. Poor thinkers believe permission reduces risk. Strong thinkers know it kills momentum. History does not belong to those who waited for agreement. It belongs to those who acted while others hesitated. Every real change disturbs comfort. That is why approval is rarely given for decisions that matter. If everyone supports your move, it is probably harmless, and harmless choices do not change outcomes. The man who will rule does not look for comfort. He looks for alignment with his values, his standards, and his future self. He builds an inner authority that does not need applause. This is not ego, this is ownership. When you depend on outside approval, your confidence becomes unstable. It rises with praise and falls with criticism. Over time, you lose the ability to act alone. You become reactive instead of strategic. This is deadly in any field where power matters. Those who gain power understand one simple rule: action creates clarity, not the other way around. Waiting to feel ready is the habit of the fearful. Readiness comes to those already moving. Most advice is not built on knowledge, it is built on fear. People place their limits on you and call it caution. They warn you away from risks they never dared to take. If you listen long enough, their limits become yours. This is why the man who waits for permission stays trapped in the life of the person who gives it. Power requires distance. It demands standing alone long enough to build something new. Those who cannot handle loneliness will never lead. They will always follow trends, opinions, and moods. The man who chooses himself accepts the cost. He knows his decisions will be questioned. He knows support will come late, only after results show. This does not disturb him. He is not performing for praise. He is carrying out a plan. Asking permission is a habit, and like all habits, it trains the nervous system. The more you ask, the weaker your inner authority becomes. The less you ask, the sharper it grows. One day a line must be drawn. Either you decide your future, or others will decide it for you. There is no middle ground. The man who rules does not wait to be chosen. He acts and reality adjusts. Those who hesitate spend their lives explaining why they almost did the same. Investing in markets before investing in yourself is one of the biggest mistakes people make. The poor man dreams of multiplying money. The strong man builds the power to create it. This difference is rarely understood and almost never respected. Most people want profit without change. They look for leverage in markets because they lack leverage in themselves. They think money is the problem when the real issue is skill. Chasing investments before building ability is not strategy, it is fantasy. Markets do not reward hope. They reward discipline, timing, control, and judgment. These qualities are not bought with money. They are built through experience. A man who cannot earn steadily will not become rich by trying to multiply what he barely manages. Multiplication only makes what already exists bigger. If your discipline is weak, it will grow weakness. If your thinking is poor, it will speed up loss. That is why most beginners lose when they enter markets. They bring unstable habits into a high-risk environment. Or thinkers misunderstand return on investment. They count only numbers. Strong thinkers measure growth in identity. The highest return is not in stocks, crypto, property, or any outside tool. It is in the person you become. Skills grow faster than money. Character lasts longer than markets. A capable man can lose everything and rebuild. An incapable man cannot protect even a gift. Money does not respect those who do not respect themselves. That is why early market chasing is often just a distraction. It lets people feel busy without facing their weaknesses. They check charts, follow trends, chase signals, and mistake motion for progress. Meanwhile, their foundation stays weak. Strong people reverse this order. They invest deeply in skills that raise their earning power. They put themselves near those who are ahead. They seek pressure, practice, and challenge. They trade comfort for competence, not because it feels good, but because it works. They understand a hard truth. Until you can earn steadily, investing does not matter. Markets will always be there. Opportunities will always return. But the time to build yourself disappears faster than you think. Time wasted chasing returns before building skill is time stolen from your future power. Poor thinkers argue with this. They say they need money now. They want shortcuts. They want reward without effort. This thinking guarantees struggle because markets punish impatience more than ignorance. Strong thinkers accept delay. They know patience is a weapon. In a world addicted to speed, the ability to wait is an advantage. Most people cannot handle quiet progress. They need signs every day. Strong people do not. Investing in yourself gives no excitement. There are no charts, no daily wins, no public praise. The returns are silent and slow, but they are solid. They stay with you. They follow you everywhere. They do not crash in bad markets. They do not disappear in hard times. They grow with every challenge you survive. The valley of death, the habit of asking permission, and the rush to invest before building yourself all come from the same weakness. the desire for comfort over control, the wish for certainty before commitment, the hope for reward without responsibility. Reality does not work this way. Reality rewards those who move without guarantees, decide without applause, and build themselves before building wealth. Those who accept discomfort early enjoy power later. Those who avoid discomfort early live under limits later. There is no escape from this rule, only delay, only denial, only excuses, and excuses are the language of those who never finish what they start. A man who can turn a small amount of money into a bigger one through skill alone is stronger than any market condition. He is not tied to luck or timing. He adjusts to whatever comes. This makes him powerful in the best way possible. Markets do not rescue people. People rescue themselves. The real goal is not to hunt for the perfect investment. The real goal is to become impossible to ignore, to reach a level of ability where chances come looking for you, where money moves toward your skill instead of you chasing money. When this happens, investing feels simple, not because it is easy, but because the person running it is steady. Losses are handled, wins are multiplied, and emotions stay under control. Poor people never reach this stage because they avoided the work. They tried to appear rich before becoming useful. They chased the signs of success instead of building its base. Strong people understand this. They build themselves until money has no option but to follow them. Listening to the powerless is a quiet form of destruction. Advice is never neutral. Every suggestion carries the weight of the life behind it. When you listen to someone, you are not only hearing words, you are taking in their standards, their fears, and their limits, shaped by their results. That is why listening to the powerless is a slow kind of self-harm. Advice only matters when it is supported by real outcomes. The poor ignore this truth. They treat every opinion the same. Family, friends, co-workers, strangers. Any voice becomes a guide. Familiarity is confused with trust. Comfort replaces proof. So they follow directions from people who have never built anything, never risked anything, never suffered anything worth copying. This is careless thinking. You would never take health advice from someone who never studied medicine. You would never take fighting advice from someone who never faced a fight. Yet people take life and money advice from those who failed in both. Then they ask why nothing changes. The answer is simple. You inherit the limits of the people you listen to. The powerless make fear sound wise. They call risk foolish. They call ambition unrealistic. They label discipline as obsession. Their words defend their choices because their lives need excuses. They explain away what they never tried. When you stay close to such people, their way of thinking becomes normal to you. You absorb it quietly. Over time, caution replaces hunger. Excuses replace standards. You begin to settle for less, not because you decided to, but because it feels normal. This is how surroundings shape fate. Your surroundings shape your standards. Your standards shape your actions shape your results. Stay near people who accept lack, and lack starts to feel fine. Stay near people who excuse failure, and failure becomes expected. Powerful people understand this clearly. They do not argue with the powerless. They simply step away. They know that closeness equals influence. Eve. And silent exposure changes expectations. If direct access to powerful people is not possible, they create indirect access. They read what successful people read. They listen to how winners think. They study how leaders make choices. Exposure comes before elevation. This is not copying. It is resetting your limits. When your standards rise, average behavior feels unbearable. What once felt big now feels small. This is not motivation. It is training. The mind adjusts to what it sees again and again as normal. Poor people resist this idea because it threatens their social comfort. Cutting off bad advice often means stepping away from familiar faces. This feels like betrayal, but loyalty to being stuck is self-betrayal. No advice is better than bad advice. Silence is better than guidance that keeps you small. Doing nothing is safer than moving backward while thinking you are moving forward. Those who rise learn to ask one hard question before accepting advice. Has this person built what I want to build? If the answer is no, then the advice does not matter, no matter how kind the intention. The powerless often react badly when ignored. They feel rejected. They accuse you of pride. In truth, they are uneasy seeing choices they were too afraid to make. Your drive forces them to face their own lack of action. This tension cannot be avoided. Growth always creates space. Strong people accept this cost without anger. They understand that leading means separating. You cannot rise while tied to people who fear height. Listening to the wrong voices does not destroy you suddenly. It wears you down slowly. Standards weaken, urgency fades, dreams shrink quietly until they fit inside other people's comfort zones. That is why listening to the powerless is slow destruction. Not loud, not dramatic, but final. Those who gain power do not fight limits. They starve them of attention. They choose what they listen to carefully. They guard their influence. They protect their standards like they protect their time. Because they know one simple rule: who you listen to shapes who you become. And becoming small is much easier than becoming strong, especially when everyone around you supports small thinking. The wrong partner is danger from inside. The greatest enemy of ambition is not failure, it is closeness to someone who fears your growth. Money and power do not change people, they reveal them. When resources grow, when choices increase, when focus sharpens, the true nature of relationships shows. Some partners grow stronger under pressure. Others fall apart and try to pull you down with them. The wrong partner does not fight your goals openly. That would be too clear. Instead, resistance hides as concern, as soft doubt, as constant questioning that sounds like care. Why are you working so hard? Is it really worth it? Can you not slow down? These questions are not innocent. They are tools of control. Growth changes balance. Money brings freedom. Freedom threatens depend. Hence, for someone whose identity depends on routine, control, or emotional leverage, your growth feels like danger. And people react to danger by instinct. They do not block you with loud fights. They block you with slow damage. Day by day they plant doubt. Not enough to start a fight, but enough to weaken belief. They paint ambition as imbalance, discipline as obsession, and risk as foolishness. Over time, you start bargaining with your own drive. You delay, you reduce, you settle. This is how potential dies quietly. No one steals your future faster than the person closest to you, because the nearest voice is always the strongest. When doubt comes from love, it skips logic and settles in the heart. You start protecting the relationship instead of your direction. This is not about cruelty, it is about fear. Money means power. Power means choice. Choice means freedom. And freedom threatens those who depend on sameness to feel safe. The wrong partner senses that as you grow, they may become optional. That fear creates resistance. The outcome is sad but common. Talented people stop growing. Not because they lack skill, but because their environment punishes progress. They choose peace over movement, comfort over strength, calm over consequence. The right partner does the opposite. They support instead of restrict. They add energy instead of draining it. They do not need you to shrink to stay close. They understand that growth is not leaving, it is becoming more. These relationships are rare because they need two secure people. Most want love that soothes, not love that sharpens. But love that dulls ambition is not support, it is sleep. The poor miss this and pay the price. They accept quiet resentment to avoid conflict. They hide their goals to keep peace. They trade their future for emotional ease. Then they wonder why life feels smaller each year. If this truth causes resistance, that is not random. Resistance shows closeness to the issue. Relationships are not neutral. They multiply force. The right one speeds you up. The wrong one slows you down every day. No business mistake will cost more than choosing the wrong partner. No bad investment will drain you faster than closeness to insecurity. This is not romance. It is structure. Those who build power are strict here. They watch actions, not promises. They measure support by results, not words. They choose partners who respect momentum even when it is hard. They know building something meaningful is already tough. Adding hidden opposition makes it nearly impossible. In the end, the wrong partner does not break you in one moment. They make you betray yourself slowly. You lower standards, you accept delays, you reduce your dreams until they no longer disturb the relationship. And when you finally notice, the fire is gone. Power needs alignment. If your closest bond fights your growth, no level of discipline will save you. Choose carefully, because the person beside you will either multiply your strength or slowly drain it. There is no middle ground.